Okay, so yeah, if anybody has arrived yet, either on Facebook or on Zoom, then welcome to the session. It's really great to be here. So we will be doing some meditation. So if you want to, make sure you have some cushions or a blanket available, that'd be great. Just finding somewhere comfortable to sit. Won't be meditating for too long, maybe 15, 20 minutes at the most. So yeah, but just making sure you've got a comfortable place. So we will be starting at past, but just starting some introductions just now. Before we start, just make sure my phone's switched off. There we go. Okay. So we do have the chat box as well. If anybody wants to use the chat to ask any questions, you can do. Feel free. And Cara will be monitoring the chat box and can answer for you. Okay, so welcome to those people who might have joined us on Facebook. So streaming live now. So just asking people to get themselves prepared if you've got some cushions or blankets, just to help you in support of meditation. We will start bang on 8:30, so a few more minutes yet to get what you need. I know it's quite early in the morning, so your head might not be with it quite yet to know what you need, so just take your time. So we will be starting with a bit of an introduction to what is mindfulness and how in particular it can support you as musicians. And then we'll be looking at a practice, and then we'll be ending with a little mindful activity that you could do in the week if you're up for that. Obviously it's optional. So I will tell you more about that when we start in a few minutes. Okay, so just getting anything that you might need. It's also a great opportunity to, when it is so early, if you're still feeling a bit tired, to actually do some meditation sat up, and it can really enable you to ease into the day, feel a bit more energized. But if you're really feeling a bit too lazy, then you can lie down as well, that's fine. I know sometimes when I'm given the option to lie down, I take it with both hands. I'm going to lie down and meditate. So just, tune into how you're feeling this morning. What do you need to enable you to be present and for you to enjoy this session? So just welcoming new people that are coming in, either on Facebook or in Zoom. And we're going to start in a minute, countdown. Okay, well, 8:30. So yes, welcome again to everybody who's joined us for this session. Really, really lovely to be invited to share with you what mindfulness is. So my name is Claire Morris, and I'm a mindfulness teacher, supervisor and trainer. And I've had my own personal meditation mindfulness practice for about 12 years now. And yeah, it's something I came into by accident, really. I went to the Manchester Buddhist Centre, so you might know that in the Northern Quarter, because I was experiencing quite a lot of stress and anxiety at the time, and I was just trying to find something to support me. And I didn't know that meditation would be the answer, but it actually turned out to be the answer. So I've had a committed practice for 12 years. And for me, it's something that has enabled my well-being to be really quite, what do you call, kind of consistently okay. Obviously, you know, being human, we have ups and downs, but actually mindfulness has really, really supported me, in particular at this time as well, being in the pandemic. So yeah, so it's great to be here with you, and I'll just give you an idea of what we're going to be doing. So just to let you know, we will be finishing a few minutes before 9 o'clock. So you can relax in the knowledge that you won't have to be checking your watch or, you know, being distracted about getting to your next lectures. So I will keep an eye on the time. So maybe 3 or 4 minutes before we'll end the session. So give you time for that transition. So yeah, what we're going to be doing, we're going to be together, hopefully all together for the next 4 sessions. So we're going to be doing 8:30 till 9 o'clock for the next 4 Mondays running up to the Easter break. And the focus is on how you as musicians can use mindfulness in a way in particular to help with motivation. So Cara said that's one of the things that's very particular at the moment, that people are getting a bit stuck around. Which actually isn't surprising as well. And, you know, we are in very particular conditions. You know, we're all experiencing this global anxiety at the moment. So the things that we would have normally turned to support us and help us have balance in our lives are maybe not so available to us now. So actually motivation to engage in study and I can imagine it's really hard. You know, yeah, I'm having moments where my motivation is wobbling as well, and I'm thinking, oh, what's going on here? So, yeah, so we'll kind of have a theme around that. So each week, I will talk, not for very long either, about what is mindfulness and some of the key concepts of where mindfulness can help you as musicians. Then we'll have a led meditation practice, and then I will end on offering you one mindful thing that you could take into the rest of the week as a bit of a practice, really, just to see how you can practically implement mindfulness into your study, into your practice. So what is mindfulness? So I'll just say a few words before we carry on, because I think actually there's a lot of misconception of what is mindfulness. We hear the word all over the place now. You know, I see the word mindful come up everywhere, even in, you know, I saw it on a menu the other day. Be mindful of what you choose for your main meal or something like that. And I thought, well, that's interesting. You know, the word mindful has been used in lots of different ways. But mindfulness is about bringing awareness to our present moment experience, just as it is, without judgment. So there's a few keywords in there. So the first one is awareness. So bringing awareness to our present moment experience, just as it is, without judgment. So awareness is the first thing. So quite often we think we are aware. We feel like we're aware of the world around us. You know, you might think, well, I'm here. Of course I'm here. I've got a body. I'm sat here. You know, I'm aware. But actually 45% of the time, we are not in the present moment at all. We're off somewhere else. And the places that we're often in is in our head. So we spend nearly half the time in our heads, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. However, a lot of the stuff that's in our head isn't particularly helpful, and it's a lot of chatter. So what we're trying to do with mindfulness is bring into what is really here now, what is actually really here, beyond what's in the head, to all the other aspects of our experience. So the body is one thing we always bring into mindfulness. You know, we know the body's here. So if I'm being mindful in this moment, the first thing I will notice is that I'm sat down. You know, I can feel the points of contact that the body's making and what I'm sat on. So you might notice that now, maybe if you lay down, just noticing, being aware of actually being sat down or lay down. So that's the first thing I'd notice. And then what else we notice with mindfulness is how do I feel? So what's happening in my felt sense in terms of emotional kind of sense? So for me at the moment, there's a sense of slight anxiety, kind of like tingling sensation, because I'm talking to you all here and I can't see anybody's faces. So this feels a bit strange. And so there's like nervous anxiety there. And then what I'm noticing is, my mind will be very busy. As I said, half time we're in our mind. So my mind will be things around, oh gosh, I hope this is okay. I hope people will enjoy this. They're not going to get bored. But really what's really important about this process is I don't judge anything. I'm not judging that I feel a bit nervous or, a sense of anxiety. I'm not judging what's in my mind. So I'm trying to come into a kind of acceptance. And that's a very, very big difference. Now, I imagine as musicians, you will completely understand that sense of performance, when feeling those anxious feelings, those nerves. Are we able to come in to those experiences and befriend them instead of seeing them as the enemy, actually coming into a sense of befriending them and acceptance? So mindfulness is kind of bringing us into the now, because we spend a lot of time in the past and we spend a lot of time in the future, but actually when we're in the now we can experience a lot more calm. So some of the benefits of mindfulness is more sense of more calmness, more engagement in positivity. So we recognize more positive things in our lives instead of just being locked on the negative. It increases our working memory capacity as well. So it enhances productivity and performance. And it increases the ability to emphasize with ourselves and others. So we're actually bringing in more kindness and compassion for ourselves and others as well. So how is this, very directly related to how it can help you as musicians? So I'll just say one or two more things and then we'll do some meditation. So the first thing is to develop concentration. That's the first thing that meditation mindfulness can support. So we know, the problem of distraction, especially, with playing a piece of music, the mind will go off, or maybe we'll hear something, or maybe a sensation in the body, and we'll be distracted. So what mindfulness does is it trains the mind to come back to what's here now. And we do that in meditation. So the more meditation we do, the more we're training the brain to come back to what's here. So as musicians, that's really important, because that distraction is always present. So actually developing concentration, training the brain to operate in that way is really useful. And also to develop awareness when we are distracted, are we making a mistake? What happens when we make a mistake in playing? There's quite often a tension in the body. So we have this physical sense. We feel frustrated, we feel angry, we get carried away with the emotions. We might start blaming ourselves, say, this is absolutely ridiculous, I'm never going to get this. And then we can spiral into this thought pattern of negativity. So what mindfulness enables us and trains us to do is recognize, okay, I've made a mistake. Okay, how does that feel? All right, then. Can I move past that? Can I acknowledge what's happened? But also look at what's good in my experience as well. Where have I done well, and trying to readdress the balance. And recognize that music is hard. This is not easy. It's really not easy. So we try and come into awareness of ourselves throughout with non-judgment. How can we be with our experience without judging anything at all? And then it can support self-directed practice as well, because actually as musicians, you will spend a lot of time in a state of solitary absorption. And that's exactly what meditators do. They're in that place of solitary absorption. So you've already kind of, you're there. So yeah, and when we're feeling, if we're feeling lack of motivation, quite often it's because we're not enjoying ourselves. It's a bit of a struggle, maybe lacking energy in the body. So what mindfulness can do is try and calm us down, put us into a place where we kind of reframe that balance a little bit so we can start to enjoy more of our playing. So that's all I'm going to say, really. I've said quite a lot. So we're going to do some meditation now for probably the next, let's have a look, 15 or so minutes. And we will, as I said, finish about 3 or 4 minutes before the hour, so you have time to go to your lectures. So if you've never meditated before, that's fine. You're at the right place. If you have meditated, then welcome. I'm sure you will get something out of this practice anyway. So if you want to find out yourself a comfortable place to sit, you don't have to sit in any particular way, but one thing that is key is trying to have a nice straight spine. So if you are sat up as best you can, because what we're trying to have in the body is a balance of alertness and ease. It's a real beautiful balance between those two things. So if you're happy to close your eyes, you can do. I'm going to close my eyes. It just helps me to get more into the practice myself. If you want to, you don't want to close your eyes, just have a very soft gaze. Maybe not looking at the screen, just kind of looking away. So first of all, just acknowledging, as we did before, that you're sat down or lay down, however which way you're going to be doing this practice. Just acknowledging your body is taking a shape. So maybe feeling into the points of contact that the body's making, what you're sat on, lay on, the points of pressure. So maybe you could feel that around the buttocks, the back of the thighs, perhaps at the back of the body. If you're leaning against something, you might feel points of contact. Or if your back is away, and you might have a sense of space behind the back. And if you've got your feet making contact with the earth, just having that sense of the feet on the ground and the earth meeting the feet. So you're just being held by the earth below. And sometimes if we're feeling quite stressed or anxious, just a simple act of having the feet on the ground, really knowing the feet are supported, can really help. And then noticing how the hands are resting, allowing the hands to be soft fingers, soft palms. Quite often we want to hold on in the hands, but we can let go, it's okay. No need to hold on. And just going to scan through the body, bringing awareness. What we're trying to do is bring awareness, really train the brain to focus in on what's here now. Just starting at the top of the head, just see if we're holding any tension in the face. Maybe around the forehead, the eyes, around the jaw, or we're clenching our teeth. So just seeing by bringing awareness if those areas will soften. And if they don't, that's okay. Sometimes they will, sometimes they won't. And then moving down through the back of the neck, down to the shoulders, an area we can hold tension, allowing the shoulders to just drop down naturally. The sense of any tension falling down through the body, falling down through the arms, soft hands, and then bringing awareness to the front of the body and just noticing you feel the breath present in the body. So you might notice it because the body will be gently rocking back and forth. So we're really trying to come into the felt sensation of the breath in the body. So we're not trying to make anything up or change anything or do anything special. These sensations are always here, so just honing in on them. And then moving down into the belly, allowing the belly to be soft. Again, the belly is a place where we can hold tension. And moving down through the thighs, down through the knee, down through the lower legs and into the feet. And then just doing another quick scan through the body, just see if there's any areas of tension that we might be able to just soften a little bit by bringing awareness to them. Maybe check in your posture. So as we said before, a nice posture of ease and alertness. So nice straight spine. Perhaps check in the head. Is the head balanced on the neck? So maybe moving the head from side to side, very slow movements. And back and forth, again very slow. And then just allowing the head to rest when you feel that natural poise of the balance, so the head balanced on the neck. And then just having a sense of the space that you're in. So without opening your eyes, just seeing if sound is present first of all. So we try not to get locked on sound, we try not to work it out. So sound is an event that comes into being and goes again. So allowing the sounds to come to you. Or maybe there's no sound, there's the absence of sound. And what's that like to notice? And maybe you can have a sense of the air on your skin, on your face or your hands. So just zoning into those areas, opening up to curiosity, what's here now. So all the while we're in the body sensation, we're not in the head, because we can't do both at the same time. And if we've noticed the head, the mind has wandered into storytelling, worrying about the past, things that have already happened, or projecting into the future, speculating about stuff that hasn't even happened yet. Just acknowledging this is normal. It's absolutely normal. It's what happens. So when we're in meditation, we recognize the mind has wandered and we bring our awareness back. Time and time again, it's okay. We're not doing it wrong. The moment we notice the mind has gone off, that's mindfulness. That's awareness. Bring it back into the body, the focus of attention. So now we're going to bring awareness to the breath. So you might like to place your hand maybe on your chest and your belly, because that can help. Because sometimes when we're asked to bring awareness to the breath, we can feel like we can tighten around the breath. We feel like we have to control the breath. But if we can feel the breath instead, sometimes that can just help us loosen around the breath. So all we're doing is recognizing the breath comes in, the breath comes out. And the breath is our soothing system. So it can help us to calm down, to become more focused, to become more alert, more aware. And again, when we're with the breath, we're not so much in the head. So as best we can, being with the breath, noticing it comes in, it comes out. So Some breaths might be quite long. Maybe some breaths are quite short. And if the mind wanders, just remember, bring it back. No judgment, we don't judge, it's okay. The mind will wander. Back to the breath, each time, back to the breath. And then focusing the concentration, you can place your hands in your lap now if you've had them on the body. Focusing your concentration at the tip of the nostrils. So try not to tighten around the forehead. Sometimes we can do that when we've got such a small area of focus. I just want you to notice the breath coming in and out of the body at the nostrils. Okay, we don't need to breathe in any special way. The body knows how to breathe. All we're doing is just being with the breath as it is. And just notice the mind might have wandered off already because it's aware the session is towards the end. Might have gone on to planning next steps. So as best we can, try and be in the here and now. Just for these last few moments with the breath, with the body. In this moment, you don't need to go anywhere. You don't need to be anywhere. It's just here now. And see if you can take some pleasure from this moment. This pleasure of just being with what's here. This body alive with sensation. Maybe a sense of appreciation, gratitude. That we are here and we're doing this together. This small community. Again, watching the mind, bringing the awareness back. And then expanding the awareness to the whole of the body. So noticing the points of contact, maybe the strongest points of what your body's making contact with, or what you're sat on or lay on. And if you've got your feet touching the ground, even if it's the side of your feet or if it's the full soles of your feet, just really having that sense of this ground underneath your feet, the earth meeting your feet. And then just checking on how you're doing. So remembering mindfulness is about how do we feel. So maybe coming in a little bit closer. How do we feel in this moment? And holding that with kindness. We don't judge how we feel. Just noticing what's here already. Maybe there's something that's showing up for us about what we need. What do we need to attend to help us, to support us, to help our well-being? Maybe it's something we can do in the week. Maybe it's something we promised ourselves so that we'd do, we haven't done yet. Just see if there's anything there. What can you do to look after yourself this week? And then extending awareness beyond the body to the space that you're in. Again, just noticing if there's sound present, maybe temperature on the skin, maybe engaging the sense of smell, just breathing in very gently, just bringing that awareness using all the senses. And then coming into the body, and then relaxing all effort, not doing anything in particular, just being here now. And thanking yourself for taking this time. Maybe this is the first time you've done meditation, maybe you're familiar with it, but just taking that time to acknowledge that you've took some time for yourself, and that will be of benefit. And then making some movement in the body, maybe wiggling your fingers and your toes very, very slowly. There's no rush. We are coming towards the end, but there's no rush. And just see if you can take any quality of awareness that you've cultivated into this practice into the rest of the day, even if it's moment by moment, just being aware. And then opening your eyes when you're ready. And just noticing how you're feeling now. So it is 3 minutes to, so I just want to end really on maybe a practice you could look at, experiment with this week. So maybe seeing if you've got 2 pieces of music you could challenge yourself with. So maybe one piece of music is something that feels like maybe you're struggling with. And what I'd like you to do when you're playing is to be with the breath, just like we did with the meditation. So as you're playing, be with the breath. If you get distracted and your mind wanders off, come back to the breath, but all the while engaging with the breath as you're playing with this piece that you're struggling with. And then equally, play a piece that actually feels like you know it really well, it's really easy. And again, be with the breath with that. And just see what the quality is like when you're actually with the breath. And then notice how often your mind wanders. And don't judge yourself, it's okay. What we're doing is just continuing that training to try and be with the here and now and use the breath to help us be in the now. Cultivating that concentration, cultivating awareness and focus. Okay, anyway, it's a couple of minutes to now. So it's so wonderful, to share this with you. And I wish you well, have a good week, and hopefully see you all next Monday morning. Take care. Oh, thank you to everybody saying thank you. Take care, everybody.